Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as always, if you're new to the channel, please consider on hitting the like and subscribe button as it helps me grow as a small content creator. It has been a while since I posted, probably I think since the Pokemon Go down climb video, but I've been back to playing Pokemon TCG again, and just really happy with the upcoming set and the way that game's going to be evolving. I kind of did want to show y'all the deck I'm playing right now. First and foremost, this isn't going to be the final list I'm playing. This is just a list that I put together just for some looking to help teach me the deck, because this is probably going to be one of the highest ceiling decks in the meta for probably like quite some time, especially past Paldea Evolved. I truly believe this is going to be one of the top contenders of that meta, if it's as it's showing in Japan that it's a really dominant force. But it's a deck that's not easy to catch on to, and I want y'all to take this list and start out with it if you're new to the list, or you're just coming back to the game, or you've been in the game but you're ready to take that next step to the competitive level. This is a really good list to start out with, because it doesn't have it's not going to run into a lot of just getting dunked on really quick. You get rewarded for good technical play, and then it has real good comeback potential, and this is why I really enjoy this deck. And it's called Gardevoir EX. It's a new card that come out in the Scarlet and Violet set. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the deck. I'm gonna talk about the choices and then go for it. We're gonna play, it's a 4 raw slime, but we're gonna play 3 of this one and 1 of this one. I have been considering playing a 2-2 line of this, just because the memory skip attack is so powerful, and what it does in a simplified game state, you could just attach an energy, poke their singleton card, and then they pass. Especially with decks like, for example, like Palkia V-Star and Giratina V-Star, where they kind of only can do one thing. That kind of puts you in a good position to not get really just shot on next turn, and it can stun a turn. And that's a lot of things I like about this deck, is you can do little nifty tricks to keep yourself in the game. And to pair with that, we're going to play 4 of the Kirlia, with the refinement ability. So what refinement does is it lets you pitch any card out of your hand to draw 2 cards from your deck. So this is like this is going to be your pseudo draw engine, since just kind of think of it like this. With Palkia, you had the Inteleon engine. This is kind of like the replacement engine to that, and sort of it's just a more downgraded version of it, but it can start punching some of them battle VIP passes that are just completely dead. Having, I guess we would say, Great Ignorant Ninjas on level 2s is not that bad, and also it just kind of can start piecing up together to just start getting you to your Gardevoir plays. But this right here has been the most correct standard lineup probably so far. Like I said, I've been considering doing a 2-2 line of this, but with the 60, but with this 70 here, it's just kind of a little bit more enticing on HP versus the 60, but the memory skip ability is really good. Another key thing while I was thinking about this is, with the Lugia Tyranitar deck, they can attach and then hit this for weakness even with the DTE, so that's just kind of something that I've been kind of thinking about over on this one that loses to Dark types. But that's the correct lineup you can start out with. We played 2 of the Gardevoir with the Shining Arcana ability. So what Shining Arcana does is it lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you could attach Psychic to any, you can attach basically basic energy to your Pokemon. So just let you get some of your stuff loaded up, like reload back up a Zyke, reload back up a Gardevoir, or just reload up anything. So you know, when this hits, it feels good, and it's also just helps you dig into your deck. And then the Brainwave Power is she only loses you a single prize, so she gets taken out. So, and it hits real big, so it's a real big hitter in the deck that doesn't cost you from losing a double prize, or so you're like hitting pretty much V numbers on a stage 2. Then we're gonna play the 2 of the Gardevoir EX. This is the best, this is the card that gets the engine running. It has the Psychic Embrace ability, which lets you attach energy from your lets you attach psychic energy from your discard pile, but you get burned for 20 for every one that you do. So this is just how you load up your Zykins. This is how you load up your other Gardevoir. You load herself up. She's a free 10, so she has really good HP on her, and a Miracle Force attack that lets her not only heal herself, it does 190, so that's a really impressive attack. It can just 2-shot almost any V, pretty much an EV star in the game. So, you know, I think that if you get there, then you're gonna probably have a hard time killing it. So if they don't kill it, you're just gonna kill them next turn. So just to pair up with that, we're gonna play one of the Cresselia with the Moonglow Reverse. This card is so powerful because for 1 energy, you could take all the damage counters off, pretty much off your stuff, and just swing them onto something. So for example, if you can probably hit like 100 onto the back row. If they don't have Manphy, it's really good, so you can just start knocking some of their stuff off. If like one of their lines of play is that you hit them but it doesn't kill them, and they decided to hard retreat or try to like boss up or just whatever that they try to do to keep stunning in the game, this can really put a lot of pressure on it and guarantee them knockouts. I see a lot of lists don't play this, and this is a card that keeps you in the game. Like I said, this deck has a lot of comeback potential. It's because of cards like this and because of loading up cards like this that it really lets you play. It really lets you play the game. It lets you play the game post taking losing a couple prizes. And then our big swinger in the deck is going to be our Zacian V. So with the Royal Sword ability, it attaches the psychic energy to any of your Pokemon, but it ends your turn. So like if you win the Dyro and you open up a psychic energy, you can attach, set up your board, hit with this, and then at least by turn 3, when you're going to start being able to attack, it does 150 base. So this is just a good card to start knocking around on some of them single prizes. Mirror, you just start taking their Ralts out. You're starting to take their engine out. Also, just taking up a couple prizes from Lost Box early on is really good, because Lost Box does take a little bit of time to set up. So if you can start hitting their Comfies or Crams on turn 3, then I believe that you're in a really good place to win the game. And then this thing can get up to like 300. Attach it with the Sky Steel Zone late game when your stuff gets in the discard pile. So for the one, this is the standard lineup for the Gardevoir deck. The only thing that you might consider is the Mewtwo V Union package and just cutting some of this stuff off. I don't personally know if I would want to play that just yet. It's just something that I would have to get some testing in, but I think that the way this deck is built so far up to this lineup is correct. Then we're going to play our good one of staples that kind of help. There are partners, I'd say, just kind of help dig into our engine or help facilitate our engine to make it a little bit better. We're going to play the Mysterious Tail Mew. It digs for an item card. You look at top 6 cards out of item card. If you open it up and you're active, if you open it up, you can put it in your active, and you could dig for Battle VIP Pass. Feels great. Later in the game, you might need to dig for an Ultra Ball, you might need to dig for a level ball, and it's really just that bread and butter little piece of combo to get you there. And it does have Psyshock, which hits for 30, and I know that this sounds kind of like silly, but that 30 multiplier could come up later. Again, this is not a deck that can really get dunked on real early. This is a deck that does kind of take some time to set up, and sometimes these plays like this can make or break a game. I mean, it can be different. That hitting 30 onto something could put you there. I actually did that in a game on live with this deck. Hitting for 30, they couldn't move out of active. I was able to get my numbers where my Zacian was not going to be getting like easily shot next turn. So that's, it's really crucial. Sometimes just making them correct plays is crucial, or just making them gutsy plays is crucial. Manphy, because we don't want to lose to Radiant Greninja. That's one thing about the deck. If Radiant Greninja gets off turn 2, Palkia is coming back to the format with the Ice Rider, and it can load up pretty fast, and then Radiant Greninja can put some work into your board, so we don't want to lose to Radiant Greninja. Or also the Kyogre's kind of running around, it looks at the top whatever cards and then blows, and it can like hit for a bunch of damage. We basically don't want that happening. And then we're gonna play our own Radiant Greninja. It's just for the draw engine. Just start pitching them psychics into the discard pile, draw 2, and then getting in it. So it works as a multi-purpose card. It gets our psychics into the discard pile, which we need, but it also helps us stick in our deck. And then the last card we play is the Lumineon V with the Luminous Sign ability. The Luminous Sign ability lets us add any supporter from our deck to our hand. So if we need that boss for that turn, we need to judge them, we need to mirror them. It just kind of really fills that row. So that's it for the Pokemon lineup, and then we'll go into the items and cards that kind of help support the deck. For Battle VIP Pass, most insane card going first in the game. It's also post-game, you start turn 1, excuse me, your refinement ability, it really helps take that off. We play a third of the Ultra Ball. I'm going to show you, I would like to play a fourth of this, and I'll show you what I'll cut, and I'll show you just a second. We play four to Frog Crystal, so the theory behind this is it's searching your Zacian, but it's also searching a Psychic Energy to go off for your Radiant Ninja. I believe that probably going forward, I'm gonna cut this down for another Ultra Ball, and then we play 4 Level Ball. This is gonna get cut to 3 as well because I do want to put a second Stadium in here. Again, this deck is a rough draft deck, so please take this list starting out and then go on with it and make the tweaks that you need to tweak it, because all this is just really good search. This is a multi-purpose card because it searches Psychic and it searches a Psychic Pokemon, so that's why. But I think going forward in the list, just minus this for another Stadium and minus this for an Ultra Ball, and I think you're good there. Then going on to just other, our supporter cards. 1 Judge, 3 Research. I don't like free research on it. I mean, I don't like 4 Research, excuse me. I would never play 4 Research. I know a lot of us do that. Rest is the 3. I can search it with a Minion. I can dig for it with Refinement. I can dig for it with a lot of stuff. So I don't really just want to be clunking up on a bunch of these. So we're gonna play 4. We're gonna play 3 of these with one Judge. The Judge is just situational. If sometimes you just open up these hands that you can't pitch off of the Research. So having a Judge just kind of pseudo that out helps, and also just putting your turn. In the theory of putting your opponent behind a turn, just because of the hand disruption is always, can also keep you in games. 1 Miram. This is like a recover card until we get Super Rod. Just put 5 back, so sometimes you do got to pitch off. Sometimes them rocks are getting down. Sometimes them Zacians are getting down in the late game, and you just really need to get them back, and that's what that purpose are. Sometimes just putting Laminion back just to where you can search for boss's orders or something. So that's what that for later turn. That's get you there. Penny. Penny just being pretty much a scoop of net on a supporter is really nice because it brings everything with it. So a lot of plays of like you hit them, but you're like damage countered out, but they're not able to trade back. You could just penny it back up and start loading up your next thing, so you're not giving them a free prize or free 2 prizer. Then we play 1 Boss's Orders, 1 Worker. It's the path out. It's one of the path outs, but on top of that, it just lets you dig into your deck a little bit deeper. And then Roxanne, one of the best combat cards in the game. Because this deck can afford to lose a couple of prizes and can start building its way back up, because again with the deck, you're just trying to get your Psychic Energies into the discard pile, and that can take a few turns. So ideally you are probably going to be losing a few things. So when they get to that Roxanne hold and then you start loading up, it just puts in a ton of work to keep you in the game. And then to wrap up the deck, we played 2 of the rare candy. And we play 1 Pal Pad, just gets our stuff back in. The Sky Steel Stone, the theory in the Sky Steel Stone is you put it on the Zacian, knock out a V-Star, and take 3 prizes. So this is another reason that this deck is a comeback deck. You get that loaded up. I think the Zacian could hit for like 300. It's something crazy, and then be able to take the KO to start the game. The 1 Stadium I'm playing in here, like I said, you should put a Temple of Sinnoh in here or a Clap Stadium, but the 1 stadium that I do think you should be playing is the Old Cemetery, just because it's just a damage modifier. If they're not playing Psychic, just let them burn themselves and be able to get to that hold. Anytime that you cannot have to burn yourself to attach an energy is great, because this serves as pretty much a pseudo-free energy for you. Or pseudo-free energy, because that 1 energy could be them 10 to 20 damage that you need that you didn't have to, because they walked herself in the Old Cemetery, and then we played 12 Psychic Energies. Alrighty, so like I said, this is just a rough draft of the deck, so I do recommend that you take some time to actually work with the deck, play the deck, make the swaps that I told you about the deck that I would make going forward until Paladin Evolve comes out. Then obviously we're going to have to do a revisit on this archetype as soon as that comes out, because we're getting a new card called I don't know if this will be out before the learning the Pokemon TCG episode, but if it is, there is going to be some more of that coming up. I'm going to be talking about GXs and different stuff going forward. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you tuning in the video and hanging out with me today. it's good to be back to recording, and we'll see you on the next episode.
I've been debating and contemplating it. I guess that I really felt